Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it took a bit longer than I thought I was going to. Um, I needed to bribe the cats to leave me alone for a bit. Wonderful to see everyone. We'll just give it a. Oh, we're at 10:02. All right. We've had some power outages, so not all my clocks are set correctly. Lovely to see everyone today. It's going to be a bit of a different presentation style today because I'm seeing this as a planning meeting. Uh, so basically, we'll get into it. It will be elementary. That's for certain. Um, so basically, on the Second Life blog a couple of weeks ago, Linden Labs posted a call for proposals for their 21st birthday celebration. And their theme for this year will be elements, right? So as a chemist, elements, of course, are that the word means a lot to me, right? That's why we've got a periodic table of the elements up here. And this is a public domain image, so it's very convenient to have this. I was going to put some stuff up in the chat as we go along. So let me open up my PowerPoint here locally so I can copy things into the chat for you. So I'm seeing today as invitation to Science Circle members to help with organizing Second Life's 21st birthday celebration, especially Science Circle and Chemistry World's contribution to that. And scandium is the 21st element. Susie, you've been reading my mind. It's also SC for Science Circle. So in any periodic table that we present, I would propose us to surreptitiously replace this symbol for scandium with a Science Circle symbol. That can be an Easter egg. So basically, the periodic table looks kind of different to different people. If you think about the abundances of the elements, this is what a periodic table would look like. We've got a lot of hydrogen and a lot of helium. This is more the abundances on Earth rather than the universe. If you did universal abundances, we'd have hydrogen and helium with a smattering of other things. But this is how elements break down on Earth, and it kind of looks psychedelic a little bit, as if one has gone to your chemistry class on LSD, which I'm sure never happens, right? Let's see. Let me grab that ping for you. Put it in the there we go. Put it in the chat. Yeah, uranium is around on Earth, but there's only tiny amounts of other stuff, and I don't know. You can't even see technetium on this graph at all because, I mean, its half-life is only 10,000 years, so it goes away over geologic timescales. Oh, let's see. I I will give this a try with my microphone. Avatar preferences. Voice. Audio. Well, how about now, Tag? Okay. So let me do this. Let me close off Zoom because I was sharing everything by Zoom as well, and it may be splitting my microphone. So let me at least turn that off and turn Zoom off. Stop sharing and end that meeting, and then perhaps that's going to give a better experience. So far, so good. I see all green bars extending out pretty well from me now. Okay. The other thing you can do is set your voice to hear from your mic camera position, and then you can move your camera closer to me as well. So let's see. Continuing. Okay, so I submitted an abstract to Chantal for this, and basically, as I explained just a few minutes ago, 21st birthday for Second Life's coming up. Their celebration, Linden Labs, is going to have the theme of elements. And they say, this theme invites us to explore the fundamental components that make up our vast virtual landscape and the diverse communities within it. And as scientists, elements mean a lot to us. For chemists, of course, elements mean periodic table, but there are a lot of elements to science already. So I suggested to the board that Science Circle participate this year in the birthday celebration. And as a board, we talked about it a little bit. There is a full proposal due May 1st on this. So this meeting, I'm hoping to help get some volunteers to give us a hand with populating our exhibit and building up concepts. So let's see. There we go. And this basically gives us the blog post. So I will put that in the chat so you all have access to that. Try that again. There we go. So Phil, are you here yet? All right, Phil is not here yet. He's taken the idea and he's run with it. So So okay, if Phil will not arrive, I've got him covered. Um, um, Phil has taken the idea and he's run with it. Right now, there is an exhibit under construction to the north of us on Stem Island that I think would make a nice core to the Science Circle side of this presentation. Um, and um, it's it's yeah, the group Phil involved the group who make up the Moonbase group and has done a lot of polling already of things that can go in there. Yeah, Sis, would you mind jumping in and chatting about the Moonbase? Okay, better from Phil. That's fine. Um, Let me keep going on this. Um, we contacted Midori Linden for some advice on how to proceed. We were going to have two side-by-side regions. There would be hopefully a 64 by 64 meter region for Science Circle and one as large for Chemistry World side by side so we could work together and have kind of a larger presence in this. So Phil and the Moonbase team have already started a fabulous build. It's on the north side of Stem Island, as I mentioned. It doesn't look like the picture that I have up here. Let's turn my laser on. What it does look like is from above the traditional representation of a periodic table. But if you're at ground level, it's a building. And basically, there are different wings to the building that can house different parts of science. I've got a picture further on. What I have done throughout my presentation is shown some different representations of the periodic table. Because on the Chemistry World kind of side of things, I kind of like to explore some slightly different ways of exploring science. Because not everyone explores science in the same way. In this particular picture, hydrogen is in the middle and the elements spiral out and they take detours depending on what type of orbitals are being filled. So the main circle, it looks like the Enterprise to me. Main circle, the saucer section is our main group elements. Then we have our transition elements here in engineering, and over here on one of the warp nacelles would be the lanthanides and actinides. So the Science Circle side of things is actually pretty well organized and pretty well underway. The Chemistry World side of things, I'm still developing to some extent. Yeah, Tag, I love this particular version of the periodic table. It shows a more unified version of chemistry to me. Things don't end on one side, they just keep wrapping around. Right? And yeah, Susie, I also agree. And I've got some other versions to keep you guys interested while I chat about this thing. So here's Phil's build. Here is a view from above. He's made a miniature version out front. There's a tree on top, and there's reasons for the tree, which I will let Phil explain when the time comes. You can see we got hydrogen and helium up here. We've got our S block elements like the lithium and the calcium and stuff like that. We've got brown and yellow is our main group P block elements. Metals are in brown, non-metals in yellow. There's a thin strip of noble gases, and we have a green for the D block elements, and down at the front there are the lanthanides and actinides. So front view, this looks like a very nice place to perhaps live and work. Front view, these are buildings. This is a building, and if you actually go and visit, there's some suggestions for what sorts of exhibits can go inside each of these buildings. So, so yeah, basically, for the science circle side of things, I see that as a beautiful chance for the periodic table to be used as a conceptual framework to organize we how we present our our group and our activities. Um, so far, so good. Yeah. So anyway, it's a shame Phil's not here. He did run with this. The Moon-based group has met and they brainstormed. And what I would suggest, since Midori Linden suggested that we put in two proposals, I would suggest that Phil lead the build team for the science circle side of the proposal. I'm happy to write both of them with input from both with both groups, but I'd have Phil lead that team. The proposals. Let's see, one, no, and oh, here's another periodic table. I don't find this one nearly as useful because you lose in all the colors like what the chemistry of all the elements are doing, and different groups don't line up. So yeah, there's one I threw in, but I don't like it. That's what you can do to fix the one I just showed you. Dividing out different segments. And here we start with hydrogen and helium on the outside. Aesthetically, I'm not keen on this one, but that's I've got some proposals coming up for some designs that I actually like. Anyway, two proposals. They're pretty short. They're basically a paragraph. We can describe what we're going to do, and we can also provide teleport links so that the people reviewing these can actually go and see our builds. In the proposal, since too many cooks spoiled the pot, at the 21st birthday region will be allocated 3 builders per parcel. That doesn't limit how many people can contribute. It just means we have to organize and make sure that whoever is designated as one of the builders has access to any exhibit that we want to put up, has permissions basically. So yeah, and they don't want much third-party content, so you couldn't just go on the marketplace and like buy a whole bunch of really cool stuff. They really want stuff that we've made ourselves. Oh my God, tag. Yeah, I would say gadolinium, but then people might throw rocks at me. So yes. Oh, Susie, I like that idea that we also have work in possibly the nuclear stability diagram. That's kind of cool, right? EGAD, right? So basically, what I'd be looking for is three builders. I think Phil on Science Circle side, me on the Chemistry World side, and perhaps I'll let Phil kind of figure out who would be a good choice for builders on that on Science Circle side. Um, I was thinking, I was thinking anyone who is like really involved in this would be really happy to be a builder. Um, Basically, I have a couple of folks in mind that I'll ask. So yeah, Chantal, basically two official creators for each site. And for Chemistry World, if um, I had a couple of people in mind. We have some chemists in the audience. I'd already approached Dr. Jones, and we'll see what he says about that. And Natalie Sumo, would you like to be a on the build team for the Chemistry World side of things? Okay, that we'll table that discussion and we'll chat. We'll chat about that. I know it's a hugely busy time as well, so I'm more than happy to chat. So um, how about what we do is um, um, make sure that everyone knows that I am looking for builders for the Chemistry World side of things, and you can contact me about that as well. Um, you know, the Science Circle stuff and Chemistry World stuff, I actually get some credit out of work for that, so I can use my work email to carry on these discussions. And since I look at my work email obsessively, it's right there, michsha at siue.edu, then that's a good place to contact me if you're interested. So far, so good? Everyone kind of happy? All right. Let me go on with what I've got here next. So we need to know what goes where on the two sites, and uh, I like the unconventional 3D forms of the periodic tables to organize the space. There's forms that would lend themselves to beautiful pathways. There's forms like there's a ziggurat form I'll show you in a second that would be a lovely building. And I said each site has three individuals with build rights, and I mentioned this. So Phil leads the SC team. I lead the CW, and we'll need to decide who the teams will be, who will set up exhibits, and feel free to email me, and we'll chat and make sure that we're all on the same page. So far, so good. I say this so if you ever come to any of my classes, I say so far so good, and I ask if everyone's happy, and I try to make eye contact with my students all the time. Usually, what I get is just anxiety and fear back, and sometimes that's why I try to make the really bad dated jokes, the dad jokes, so that I can at least see people cracking a smile here and there. Uh, so cool. Well, let me keep moving on a little bit here, and uh, I really like the feature in the conversations that there's you can set which channel to have your chat on. Uh, for this particular um, slide presenter, all the commands are basically typed into the chat, but on channel number one. Usually you go \1N, and if you're recognized by the presenter, it goes to the next slide, right? And you can change the laser different colors. This is a great slide, uh, great slide projector. I think it's one of the best that's out there. It's also free, and if you ever need a slide projector, come and ask me or Chantal, or most of the board members have at least a copy of this. So here's some different representations of the periodic table. I, I really only saw this ziggurat version of it yesterday. And it's actually from a journal I hadn't heard before, European Journal of Science and Theology. The article, of course, was talking about the beauty of science and organization of things in nature. Um, but I really like this particular representation. It actually shows some of the symmetries that um, exist in the periodic table that the traditional form just loses, right? So, oh, Susie, no thallium, please, no thallium. I had an interesting conversation with one of my colleagues about thallium this week, and it's thallium's real nasty. So, um, this is a lovely present way to represent a periodic table. I would certainly try to make a building that looks like this, and have maybe some surprises here and there in the building. This guy, I'm less enthused about because it the seems disconnected to me. But there may be a place for it. One of the things, some of you may have noticed, I've been in Second Life a lot lately. I've been working on a little script that moves things based on locations kept in a notebook. And I'm thinking about uh, using this thing to um, animate some of these periodic tables so that they can reconfigure themselves into different forms. I'm going to show you kind of the advanced version. I'm sorry, the initial version of the thing I've made, and it's real basic, but you know, um, Sumo, that's a great, that's a great um, comment. Um, the similarities do get missed in a lot of these periodic tables. I kind of like the ziggurat because it keeps the columns, because the columns in the periodic table are really, really important. And the rows are wrapped around, and they're all on the same level. We don't lose as much information in the ziggurat. I did like the enterprise version too. But let me click on this guy and kind of show you my progress on my. All right, so it manifests some things and it can move them around. And really, I've only got them going through an octahedral structure and a cubic structure. And then, at least to the owner, it says I'm done once it's done. And let me, if I have this little controller, it says on channel 601 the word gadzooks and makes it go away. So far I've got a good start on scripting stuff, so we can have some interesting exhibits. Yes, yes. Um, the original chart is all reactivity. So I think maybe in our chemistry world side of things, we have a history and we point out where all of this stuff came from. It comes from very clever people doing experiments and figuring out what the similarities between different substances were, and starting to organize those substances into a way that makes sense. Because the periodic table comes from experiment, but it is explainable now through the math of quantum theory. All right. So yeah, so I've been saying I would be showing people these different representations. Let me put those in the chat. Control V. Um, Phil sent me that link, and that link has some really nice history. It basically shows you what the periodic table would look like if people were thinking about that, like through the ages, right? So like in the 1500s when some elements were known, but they were thought about in a much different way than we think about them now. And then there is that second um, version right there. All right, next slide here. Here's another version, and it keeps some of the chemical relationships between different elements in terms of the shading um, of the columns. You know, here I see three different regions, essentially a main group region, a transition metal region, and a lanthanide region. I was thinking this sort of thing could be a inspiration for a walking path through garden or something like that for the region. Yes, agree with Sumo. The atomic masses are very interesting. They actually give you a pretty good order for elements in the periodic table, except for a couple of places where I think it's cobalt is one of them. I think where the atomic mass does not actually follow the trend of the actual atomic number. So, yeah. Okay. So that one is just yet another variation in the periodic table that I've come across. And we'll go next slide here. And I couldn't find a representation of a periodic table. The first weird representation of the periodic table I ever saw was in a book by George Gamow, famous physicist. He wrote a book called 1, 2, 3 Infinity. I think I started reading that when I was 12. I was fascinated. And he had a sketch of this as a periodic table. So I couldn't find it. So what I did is cut it out cut out a periodic table, and basically I have a main cylinder, which corresponds to, I think, right here, of the main group elements, spiraling down from hydrogen and helium. Then there is a loop that corresponds to the D block, the transition metals, right? That's where we keep iron and gold and mercury and molybdenum and all of those. And then there's another loop down here where those are the lanthanides and actinides. It looks almost like a Mobius strip. And you know, it's the very top part is kind of awkward. I was actually thinking about building a building based on this. It would look like the Guggenheim, but I would have it upside down. So you go in the ground floor with hydrogen, and the whole of the ground floor could be hydrogen, because hydrogen shares chemistry with not only like the sodium, but it shares chemistry with carbon. It's certainly compatible with carbon. It shares chemistry with chlorine, and it's a different in different ways. It shares chemistry with all of those second um, row elements. So having hydrogen as the foundation, and then we spiral up with, think about this picture but upside down. In Second Life, our buildings do not have to be supported by by pillars or anything. They they can have some crazy looking engineering. So I was really thinking of a Guggenheim looking building with this sort of thing upside down. So maybe between this guy as a building and a ziggurat as a fountain or something in the courtyard, and some content, because I have plenty of content from giving Science Circle presentations for the past 8 or 9 years now, and I'm pretty sure that others have content as well that we can populate, as long as we have a structure to begin with. Tag, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Um, so, thinking about a timeline here. Let's see, going in. Thinking about a timeline here. We'll need to discuss setting up teams, assigning build responsibilities at the site. We'll need to organize the Chemistry World site. Uh, I'll be working on the proposals this weekend and next week, so that we get them in plenty of time for the May 1st deadline. Um, and if you are interested in working on this, please just send me an email. Let's see. I'm hoping to get this done. We'll have all of May to build, even if even if it's not chosen as something that is displayed at um, the 21st birthday celebration. This will be a nice way of building some more content for both the Science Circle site and for the Chemistry World site. So, in that connection, oops, in that connection, I've put up a platform up in Chemistry World. Let's see. And I've just kind of popped some of my content on there, stuff I've done um, from previous talks here at Chemistry World. There's plenty of things, plenty of stuff to choose from that is just from me. And obviously, the rest of us as scientists have lots of other stuff that we can use to populate things as well. We would have about a month to build. The exhibits go up officially in for the month of June, so I think they have to be present by June 1st, and they stay up until July 1. Chantal, one thing I would suggest, if we get chosen, we have maybe one of our Saturday mornings used for having Science Circle meet at our build sites and basically have tours. So that would be good content for June. Let's see. I can give you a landmark to this thing. I'll have to find it. Landmarks. And if I put that in chat, no. Let's see. Okay, so I sent everyone a landmark. Believe it or not, that's the first time I've done that. I just sent it to everyone near me, so hopefully, yeah, it doesn't look like any griefers are in the list. Yeah. All right. I don't think I've got any more slides, but let's try. Nope, that's it. So, basically, that's what I'm thinking. If you are interested, let me know, and I'm real happy about putting this stuff together. My Just to let you know, I've been doing some interesting stuff this last week. At my school, I've applied to be the dean of the graduate school, and that carries with it the title of associate provost for research. And had a Zoom interview that went well this week. I guess they did some over 20 of these screening interviews. I'm hoping for a second round interview. I'd be surprised if I didn't get one, but basically that would happen Thursday or Friday of this week, I believe, and then we move on with that process. So basically, I've got some life changes happening, but this is something that I'm excited about, and actually gets me all happy after a long semester. So yeah, so basically, let's see. Let me put my email address in the chat again. It's a weird address. It's michsha at siue.edu. It's a weird amalgam of Michael Shaw. They did not give me a choice in it 27 years ago. Uh, and I've basically just lived with it ever since. There was an M. Shaw, but that was Mary Shaw, who worked in the tax office. She's since retired. So it's weird. I understand. We just have to live with it. Um, since I've since it's what people know me as professionally, yeah, I just say that's it, and apologize. We for some reason the school still uses this weird or seven letter email address for everybody. There's some that are just even worse than mine. Yeah, it's just an email. Okay, is everyone good? So far, so good. Anyone want to jump in with ideas on chat?
Mike, can you
Yes,
hear me?
I can.
It struck me. I haven't looked to see what you have over there to this extent, but it would be really cool to have some kind of indicator for elements that are exceptional in terms of the Aufbau principle, uh, and those are in the early. You start to get those in period four in the transitional elements, as you know. But I think a lot of people probably don't keep that clear, and it gets a little more tricky in the lanthanides and later. But um, it's really quite an interesting thing how the electrons choose to be oriented in a neutral state. It's not always what one would predict by a simple algorithm. But
Yes.
I, that'd be really neat to have some way to, have that um, so people could explore it and or learn about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Tag, I really like it. I'm not sure if I can uh, come up with something in the next month that does the idea justice, but this fantastic idea. Some of you who have been around in Second Life, may have seen some activity this semester, or since January, on Chemistry World. I have 50 students, and in our labs, we use the lab areas of Chemistry World for 3 weeks of experiments. These are our freshman engineers. And they're here now anyway. I had some good feedback this semester about the Second Life. They seem to like it. Um, and honestly, having an Aufbau principle 3D demo would be a fantastic educational opportunity for them. So this is something that I'm going to take really seriously. I may not be able to get to it by June um, for the 21st birthday celebration, but I think this is a topic that is ripe for development as educational stuff that we have on the Chemistry World site. So I appreciate that. Cool. Alrighty, so that's what I have for you today. I kind of asked for help and showed someone showed you all the some interesting ways of organizing the periodic table, some which are more artistic in their design than practical, but all of which have a different concept for how to organize our knowledge. So what I'll try to do is go to the Moonbase meeting on Monday. I should be able to do that. Monday's usually a bit busy, but I can sneak in there this Monday. Oh, okay. I'll still pop in so I can touch base with Phil. I think I have. Oh, oh yeah. That's important. Awesome. Oh, okay. Phil won't be in on Monday. Well, I'm sure that we can get in contact with Phil by email. I've got a couple of email addresses for him, and we can touch base. He sent a wonderful summary of all of the topics that were discussed at the Moonbase. I am overwhelmed by just the enthusiasm that I saw from Phil and from the Moonbase team, and I'm hoping to be able to match that from the chemistry side of things. Me too, Tag. For me, this is Saturday at this is Saturday at noon, and it kind of marks the end of one week and the beginning of another. Let me get back to you on that um, during the week, Chantal. Uh, I'll put together drafts of proposals run by the board and anyone who is interested, and then get feedback, and then we can submit, and then if we need to have a meeting about this for next week, then we can. Although I tend to think that our Saturdays are best spent um, working on content. Although if Phil wants next Saturday to talk about his ideas for the SC region, then that's 100% good too.